If you're brand new to bluegill fishing, the hardest part usually isn't convincing a bluegill to eat a worm. The hard part is putting the right size piece of worm in the right little spot, at the right depth, without making the rig too big and clumsy. A lot of beginners put a whole night crawler on a big hook, cast as far as they can, and wait. Sometimes that catches a fish, but it also gives bluegill a perfect chance to peck the bait off without ever getting hooked. So think of it this way. You're not trying to feed them dinner. You're trying to offer one easy bite. Start with a simple setup. Use a light spinning rod, or even a cane pole if that's what you have. Tie on a small bait hook, something around a size 8 or size 10. Add a small bobber above it, and if the bait needs help sinking, pinch one tiny split shot on the line about 6 to 10 inches above the hook. The hook should look small next to your fingertip. The bobber should be just big enough to float the bait. If the bobber looks like a plastic beach ball, it's working against you because a small bluegill can feel that resistance and let go. Now take the worm and use less than you think. Pinch off a piece about the size of your thumbnail, or smaller if the fish are nibbling. Thread the hook through the worm once or twice so it stays on, but leave the hook point exposed. That exposed point matters. If you bury the hook inside a wad of worm, the fish can steal the bait while the hook never touches its mouth. Before you cast, look at the water. Bluegill usually want two things close together: safety and food. Safety is shade, weeds, dock posts, brush, rocks, fallen branches, or the edge where shallow water drops darker. Food is tiny bugs, minnows, and little bits drifting near those same places. So don't walk straight to the bank and fire into empty open water. Stop a few steps back, keep your shadow off the water, and scan. Look for a dark weed patch, a shady dock corner, tiny rings on the surface, bait fish flicking, or a line where clear shallow bottom suddenly turns darker. If you're not sure where to start near something. Bluegill like edges more than blank water. Set your bobber so the worm hangs about a foot or two below it for your first cast. That's a good starting depth from a pond bank or small lake shore. If you can see weeds under the surface, set the bait just above the weed tops so it doesn't drag through them. If you're next to a dock and the water is clearly deeper, try a little deeper after your first few casts. The simple rule is this: start high enough that fish can see the worm easily, then move deeper only if you need to. Your first cast should be close and quiet. Don't bomb it to the middle. Cast to the nearest good edge like the shady side of a dock post, the outside line of weeds, the tip of a fallen branch, or the place where wind is pushing ripples into the bank. A soft cast 10 feet away often beats a long cast into nothing. When the bobber lands, don't start yanking it around. Let the rings fade, let the worms settle. Then watch the bobber and the line. A bluegill bite doesn't always look like a movie bite where the bobber disappears. It might twitch, lean, slide sideways, dip halfway under, or just start walking across the surface. When you see that, don't swing hard. Lift the rod smoothly until the line comes tight. If you feel weight or tapping, keep lifting and start reeling. That steady lift hooks more bluegill than a big dramatic hook set. If you're missing bites, read the bobber like a clue. If it wiggles and dances but never really goes under, the fish are probably pecking the tail of the worm. Use a smaller piece and make sure nothing hangs far behind the hook. If the bobber goes under and you keep missing, wait just a breath longer before lifting. If your bait keeps disappearing with no fish, check two things. The hook point should be showing, and the worm should be wrapped close to the hook instead of dangling like a long ribbon. Bluegill are excellent at grabbing the loose end and leaving you with an empty hook. Now let's talk about where to stand and where to aim, because this is where beginners waste a lot of time. On a sunny day, shade is one of your best shortcuts. Fish the line where bright water meets dark water. That might be under a dock, beside overhanging grass, under a tree limb, or along a steep bank. Put the worm on the edge of the shade, not 5 yards past it. Bluegill often sit right on that border because they can hide in the dark and dart out for food. On a windy day, don't automatically run from the wind. A light wind pushes tiny food toward one bank, and bluegill may follow it. Look for the bank where small ripples are tapping the shore, especially if there are weeds or wood nearby. If the bobber drifts too fast, add that tiny split shot so the worm stays down and drifts naturally instead of skating across the top. If the wind is so strong that you can't control the bobber at all, move to a calmer corner, but don't ignore a gentle breeze. It can actually help you. In spring and early summer, bluegill may be shallow around beds. Beds look like little round light spots on the bottom, often grouped together like saucers. If it's legal where you fish, cast past the group and bring the bait back gently, instead of plopping the bobber right on top of them. In hot weather, many bluegill slide away from the hottest shallow water and hold near deeper weed edges, dock shade, or the first drop-off close to shore. Same fish, same worm, different comfort zone. That's why depth and shade matter so much. The next skill is knowing when to move. Bluegill are social fish. If they're active and you're near them, you usually get some sign pretty quickly. You might get a bite, lose a worm, see a flash, watch the bobber twitch, or notice fish following the bait. If you've made a few careful casts to a good edge, tried a little shallower and a little deeper, and nothing has happened, move. Don't spend half an hour proving one empty spot is empty. Use a fan pattern. Cast slightly left, then straight out, then slightly right. Start close, then go a little farther. If one lane gets a bite, repeat that exact lane. Don't immediately cast somewhere new. Bluegill often stack in a small area, and moving the worm just a few feet can turn steady bites into nothing. If you can see bluegill but they won't commit, go quieter, smaller, and slightly higher. Step back from the bank. Keep your rod low and your shadow off the water. Use a smaller worm piece. Then adjust the bobber so the bait hangs just above the fish, not below them. Bluegill are more comfortable feeding upward than downward. If your worm is under their bellies, they may stare at it and ignore it. If it drifts just above their face, it looks like an easy snack. Clear water makes this even more important. In clear water, soft casts and small movements matter. Don't slap the bobber down. Don't reel the whole rig straight through the school over and over. Drop it near them, let it settle, and make only tiny twitches if you need movement. In muddy or stained water, the fish may need more time to find the bait. Fish closer to cover, let the worm sit longer, and trust the smell and wiggle of the real worm to help them locate it. When you hook your first fish, keep it simple. Lift, reel steadily, and keep a bend in the rod. Don't reel the fish all the way into the rod tip. Leave a little line out so you can lift it by the line or guide it gently to your hand. Bluegill have sharp spines along the top fin, so hold the fish from the head toward the tail, smoothing those spines down as your hand closes. If the hook is hard to reach, use small pliers instead of digging with your fingers. If you're keeping fish, check local size and creel limits before you start. If you're releasing them, wet your hand first, handle them briefly, and get them back in the water quickly, especially on hot days. The big rule that ties all of this together is change one thing at a time. Beginners often miss a few bites and then change the bait, hook, bobber, depth, spot, and cast distance all at once. Then they have no idea what fixed the problem. Use a simple order. If nothing is happening, move the bait closer to cover. If that doesn't work, change depth. If you get pecks but no hookups, make the worm smaller. If the bobber drags through weeds, fish shallower. If the fish are visible but nervous, stand back and cast softer. Every adjustment should teach you something. So here's the plan for your next trip. Bring small hooks, small bobbers, a few split shot, and worms. Walk up quietly and choose a spot with shade, weeds, a dock, brush, or a visible depth change. Pinch off a small piece of worm, leave the hook point exposed, and start with the bait a foot or two under the bobber. Cast to the nearest edge, let it settle, and watch for twitches, slides, dips, or sideways movement. If you get action, repeat that cast. If you don't, try a little deeper, then move to the next piece of cover. Catching bluegill with worms isn't complicated, but it does reward paying attention. Small bait, small hook, quiet approach, visible cover, and one adjustment at a time. Do that, and you're no longer just waiting for a fish to find you. You'll know where to put the worm, what the bobber is telling you, and what to try next.